Hey guys, it's Christine with Indigo Wings, and I'm here to do the weekly Twin Flame reading for the week of May 22nd through May 28th. For next week's video, I am going to try to do it a little early since it's Memorial Day weekend and a holiday weekend in the United States, but I'll see what my plans end up being. I'm not sure what's going on yet with that. I have a couple things that I want to mention to you about some of the energies and astrological events that are going on right now. One of them, I'm going to share a post with you from twinstrology.com because it really pertains a lot to my reading for this week, and I really want you to see how it's tying into this week's reading. Before I do that, if you've been considering getting a reading with me and you were considering getting it, within the next month or so, I wanted to give you a heads up. The month of June is going to be kind of crazy for me. So I just kind of keep that in mind, that my turnaround times might be a little more extended in the month of June. There's going to be just a lot going on, and I'm going to be going on a vacation in a few weeks. So I'm just not going to have the same amount of availability, and I just want my followers to be aware of that, because I don't want anyone to be caught off guard if they're looking for a reading and my turnaround time is a little bit longer than it is now, or they go to contact me and that happens to be when I'm unavailable. And I'll let you guys know when it gets closer, when I will be taking my break, and what my time is going to look like as the summer approaches for me, because my kids will be on summer break starting towards the end of June. Summer activities, all those things. My working hours are going to be reduced just a little bit. So once I get a better idea of what that looks like, I will let you guys know. Let's see. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know that my availability is going to be limited in June for healings and for readings. So let's see. I have two recommendations of things that I think you really need to check out. Like watch this video and then go check out these two reports if you haven't already done it. Some of you may have already. The one is the Asteroid Oracle report that I'm going to share with you right now on Twinstrology. I don't know if it's on her website, but it's on her Facebook page, twinstrology.com. And I'm seeing what she's talking about very much in my reading. And then the other one is there is a recent post or a video that was put out by the Leo King, and a lot of people follow him. So many of you may have already seen it, and I think he did this video, it was either Wednesday or Thursday of last week, about some really intense energies that came up last Friday and Saturday, talking about a portal that was opening up, and basically just talking about the time period that we are coming into over the next few months, and what we can be expecting and what we should be doing. And it was a really intense message, and I was brought to that video by one of my clients who was very moved by the message. So I thought it would be good to point out for all of you, and the underlying message that he really is very passionate about towards the end is this is a time of massive transformation. Don't screw it up. Telling us that we have the opportunity, sorry, there's like a bug or something flying, that we have the opportunity here, we have a rare opportunity where where all of the planets and things are in a particular, things are just really in the right place for us to do certain things and not to mess it up right now. So definitely make sure you check that out and see how it resonates with you. Some people may have been deeply affected by these energies over the last few days. So for some of you, it might explain why you've been feeling the way you've been feeling. Others may not have been quite as affected. I thankfully was not super affected by the energies. I was just a little more tired than I typically am. So those are those things. And so I'm going to read you the post. So if you are not interested in the post, fast forward a little bit because it's going to take me a few seconds before I start the reading, because I'm going to read this post from Twin Astrology. But it's because I think it's really important for you guys to hear this. So I'm going to read this now. So Asteroid Oracle, Jupiter retrograde update and Venus out of shadow. And this was posted on Friday. This message will resonate with some of you that have your twin flame choosing to stay in their karmic relationships. So yes, you heard me right. She's saying some of you will be having your twins choosing to stay in your karmic relationships. But this is not for everybody. This is not happening with everybody. And so this is why I want to share this. This Jupiter retrograde is having everyone review their partnerships, and it was really intense with Venus retrograde at the same time. When planets are retrograde, they focus their energy internally. This caused everyone to do some serious thinking. For many that are still in karmic relationships, especially the masculine energy, this combination has led to some of them to decide to give it one last try with their karmic partners. The quincux, I am not sure how to say that word, between Jupiter and Neptune is adding to their confusion. This is testing their faith, but some will feel the test and decide to run the other way back to the karmic. Neptune and Jupiter create big illusions too, so some are trying to hide in this illusion that they can salvage their current situation or that they must sacrifice themselves to save the other person. Venus, who has been direct since April 15th, clears her shadow today with an exact opposition to Jupiter and a semi-sextile to Neptune. She's on the Sabian symbol, a serpent coiling near a man and a woman. This relates to sacred union, Adam and Eve partaking from the tree of knowledge, awakening and kundalini activations. But if someone is still attached to certain belief systems, it can bring up feelings of temptation and guilt. One might fear this knowledge or be under old religious templating that having this knowledge is wrong. Pluto, which represents our shadow, is squaring Venus. This is bringing up fears around love and the need to control it, guilty feelings, and wanting to keep one's feelings secret. Pluto square Venus can trigger fears of worthiness and the belief that love must be painful. Together, they create a deep longing for love and spiritual union, and at the same time, a great fear of it. Therefore, some are choosing to stay with what they know for the time being, despite it being a painful situation. Some of you might be feeling your twin flame push you away, either energetically or in 3D. This can be painful and can bring on purging, but do try to maintain balance. I'm being shown the Lover's card, which certainly relates to that Sabian and represents a choice between two people. The message I receive from this card is that they, and by extension you, are likely to keenly feel the push-pull because the Lovers represent separation and the longing for reunion. If they are choosing to stay in their karmic relationship, there is nothing you can do. Letting them go is the only option. It is up to them and their higher selves to face their own inner fears and beliefs. to figure out why it is they are not choosing themselves. That is the truth of it. It isn't that they aren't choosing you, they aren't choosing themselves. They must figure out why they fear love and happiness. Asteroid Juno, Jupiter's wife, went retrograde on May 10th, square to Jupiter. She is doing her own inner reflecting as she travels backwards to meet him in an exact square June 18th. Juno and Jupiter had the classic karmic relationship. Juno was always trying to get Jupiter to see her, who she was as a person, to validate her, but he never did. He often chose other relationships which made her angry and gave her the reputation of a shrewish wife. The divine feminine is tired of putting up with disrespect and trying to get the masculine to see them. The masculine can't or won't give validation because of their own insecurities. Detach from them and follow your own joy. If they are your true divine partner, they will return. Jupiter goes direct June 9th. After that, there is about a 4-month window before Jupiter moves into Scorpio. This will be the time where those that were struggling to hang on to these karmic relationships will see them begin to fall apart, as it will become increasingly difficult to try and hold them together in the new energies. And again, this was written by Marla Kelly with twinastrology.com. So, and then I'm going to show you how this is kind of coming up in this week's reading for me. And so, I say that this week's reading, it's for, this coming up week of May 22nd through May 28th, but I feel like this reading is one of those ones that can be applied longer term for people, that this isn't just like a week ahead, this is a longer term for sure. So as always, this side is the feminine, this side's the masculine. I refer to the masculine and feminine energies just for my own ease while I'm talking to you. The masculine and feminine energies are not gender specific. It can be a male or a female. The masculine and feminine energies can apply to same-sex relationships, so it covers everything. Is there anything else I wanted? If this message that I am about to share with you resonates with you, that is great. If it doesn't, that's okay. This is not the message for you. And I'm sort of feeling like this message potentially could not apply to everybody that's watching it today. And you'll see why as I'm going forward with it. If it feels like I'm talking directly to you, then I am the reader for you. And I would love to work with you to do a personal reading to dig in deeper for whatever it is that you're looking for assistance with. And I will list at the end of this video how you can contact me for a personal reading. So I am going to start on the feminine side. I'll talk about this a little bit more when I get over to this card. I want to just mention there are 5 and 6s all over this reading this week. 5, freedom, transformation. For me, the transformation is really sticking out, just given what I know of the Leo Kings video that I saw earlier this weekend, and what I just shared with you from the Twinastrology Oracle reading. There is a lot of transformation taking place. There's a lot of change happening, both outwardly and inwardly. As always, we're always growing, we're always changing, we're always evolving, but there's a lot going on. But then the 6 is, peace and harmony, and I feel like this, an overall message with these numbers is that we are transforming and changing so that we can get to that place of peace and harmony that so many of us are seeking. And we're going to get there. So the first card that comes up on the feminine side is the win or lose. And, so here's the 5 for that freedom, the transformation. And the 5, so for here, so if you remember what I was just saying when I was reading that, the Asteroid Oracle, which, if you're better at remembering things when you read them, go to either her website, twinstrology.com, or her Facebook page, which is Twinstrology, so you can check it out. She said that this is not going to be everybody, this is not going to be all twin flames, but there are going to be twins who their divine masculine is going to decide that they're going to stick it out, they're going to try again, or they're going to try to make it work with their karmic partner. And so some of the divine feminine are going to feel like they've lost. Some divine feminine who are not getting that message, especially ones that are watching this video and get some sort of communication that is not along the lines of this happening, are going to feel like they won. But it's like, literally, feeling like you're in this place of no matter what happens, am I going to win? Am I going to lose? Is this going to work out for me? And I'm literally feeling like there's 2 groups of divine feminine for this card. The ones that feel, and it's not a loss. Everything is working out exactly the way it's supposed to. This is a divine plan. You are on the right path. But some of you feel like you have lost. Some of you are going to feel like, okay, I won this round. Like, okay, I made it through. He's not going back to that karmic partner, or he's not telling me right now that he's choosing this, or some of you are feeling like, phew, mine doesn't have a karmic partner. And so I pulled some Lenormands, which I haven't used the Lenormands in a reading in a while. And I pulled the Tower and the Ship and then the Letter. And so this is telling me that there is like so these 2 together, this is telling me this is kind of like a beacon. Like this is telling me, like this reminds me of like a lighthouse. Or that's exactly what, this is. This can be like an airport or a lighthouse, which, but that reminds me of like a beacon. And, like if you think of like what a lighthouse is, the lighthouse is there to send a message to ships that are at sea that don't go this way. There's rocks here. It's to protect them. And then there you have the letter. And so the ship and the letter are like a communication from far away. And it's like, I feel like what is happening here with the communication that's coming, for those that feel like they've lost, they're being protected. This is, this is a step that has to be taken for your particular situation. And this is going to protect you down the road. in some way. And you might not be able to see now how this is going to be helping you, but this is something that's going to be helping you. Now, others of you who are in the place of things, not feeling like you've lost, you are still going to be receiving communication from far away. And I feel like there's so many twins that are getting, that far off communication. So for some, that's literally like that long distance, like you're separated by miles and miles. And so any messages you get from your twin are far off communication. But for some of you, this is indicating communication in the 5D that, is bringing you hope, that is bringing you strength, that's helping you. And part of why I think for some of you this is communication in the 3D, this is a ship that is in the air, it's flying, it's not like a regular ship. And so I'm feeling like, this is a communication that's happening in a different dimension for some of you. Now for the masculine, the card that comes up here is New Vitality. And so, I'm getting 2 messages here as well. So for some of you, for those who feel like you're in the win, you're seeing, you're kind of getting like a different side of your masculine twin. Like, and I almost feel like for some of you, like you're finally getting it. Like not just not your masculine twin exactly, but for those of you who are in like the win of the win or lose, you're changing something. You're changing something that you're doing. And I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to make the video too long. But you are changing your approach to things. You're changing things, and it's bringing a new vitality, not just to your masculine twin, but to your dynamic. And I just had some really interesting conversations with clients and some mentors about vibrations and how much being in a certain vibration really, really affects how you and your twin interact with each other. So for some of these, there's this new vitality that is just, like you're at another step that you're seeing a new level to them. You're seeing a new side of them, and you're feeling really good about it. For the twins that see them trying to make it work again with the karmic, you think you see a new vitality of them trying again with the karmic. You're seeing this renewed effort or zest, like for that karmic relationship. But the cards that I pulled here in the Lenormand deck, I pulled the Whip, I pulled the Mice, and I pulled the Clouds. And so what I'm getting, like, just overall with this group of cards, it's a show. It's not the divine masculine. This is not who they are, who they want to be. It is not their soul at all, and it is exhausting for them. It is going to drain the life right out of them, and they are going to come into a point where they are just going to break down. They're going to be feeling lost, depressed. There's going to be a lack of clarity because they're going to be trying to go against the current. They're trying to fight against something, and they're going to be so exhausted. And something that I thought was really interesting when I was looking at these after I laid them out. So you've got the whip, which is an 11. And then you've got mice, which is a 23, which breaks down to a 5. So there's another 5. And then you've got the cloud, which is a 6. So there's your 6. And then when they're together, it like hit me. I'm like, oh, that's another 11. And I feel like that was just another confirmation for me that they're gonna try with the karmic because they feel like that is what they should do, but it's not gonna work, and they're gonna go back to their twin. They are. That's just what's gonna happen. They can't fight it. So the next card for the feminine is believe and succeed. And so I feel like both parties, so all the feminine, you're going to just focus on having the faith and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to work out. You want the peace, you want the harmony. You're setting your sights on the prize. And even those of you who are feeling like you lost something because they are choosing their karmic, no, you didn't, and you didn't. And you might have a tough time for a little bit, but you're going to pick yourself up and you're going to focus on yourself and you're going to do your own thing, and you are going to have the belief that it's all going to work out. You're not going to wallow. The successful ones are not going to wallow. And the clarifying card I pulled here is the High Priestess. So you have a 2 for partnership, union, coming together. And so, but what I'm really feeling is, this confirmation with the High Priestess about, this is the time when you need to have patience. And I feel like for many of you, many of the Divine Feminine, your intuition is going to be telling you what to do during this time. Follow your intuition. And it comes up so often, but you need to be patient. Go with the flow. Take one day at a time and really follow your intuition and the guidance that you're given. I recently worked with somebody who had some, was asking for help from her guides and said, guides, what is your advice for me in this situation? What should I do? And her guides said specifically for her, you need to reach out daily to this person. And you need to keep it light, fun, friendly, no pressure on anything. And the client was like, are you serious? I don't want to do that. But the client said, okay, I'm going to try it. And it was exactly what the client needed. Exactly what the client needed. And the client ended up learning some really valuable lessons, not just about the why and why it was good for her, but she saw the desired change that she was looking for, not only in the person that she was communicating with, but also in herself. So, our intuition, our guides, it's a powerful tool for us on this journey, and it's there to help you. So ask for help and listen to it, because it's there for us. So the next card on the masculine side is healing begins. So we have another 6 for the peace and harmony, and I feel like they're going to have some intense heart healing going on, and this card reminded me of somebody who is like finally revealing themselves, like they're peeking out from behind the curtains, ready to show people who they really are. Like they've been afraid to be themselves and show people who they really are. And now they're like, okay, I'm peeking out. I might not be ready to come out all the way, but I'm ready to start showing people a little bit of who I am. And I feel like that's going to be a really big deal for them. Now, this healing begins. I don't know that that's going to necessarily mean that that they have moved on from their karmic partner at this point. But things are going on for them that they understand, that they're coming to a better understanding of things. But for some of them it may mean that. And I do want to point out, so both the Believe in Succeed card and the Healing Begins, both of them are 6s. So it's like the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine are on the same page in terms of having a underlying feeling of that peace and that harmony. And it's like, not only do they want that, but I feel like there is that, they have that connection, they feel that harmony between them. So the clarifying card I pulled for Healing Begins is release. So for some of the Divine Masculine, they may be releasing that situation with the karmic partner. It may be the end of that situation. They may just be realizing it's time to move on from that. That can come in some phases, depending on what kind of relationship is. If they have children together, if they live together, if they're married, things like that, it's not going to happen in a day. But more realistic observations and acceptance are happening. This is also, this card's also a spiritual transformation, which, I feel like these cards are going together so nicely for the Divine Masculine because, for some that, there's an ending with that karmic, but for many, there's that spiritual transformation going on, and they're allowing people to see them and to see that transformation taking place. They're also, for some, revealing themselves, revealing their truth, that they don't want to continue their life with their karmic anymore. And for some people, like, that might be like their biggest truth that they're keeping from people. Like what they've been afraid to show their friends and family and society and everything. So, it's like the healing begins as they're exposing themselves. So this is, there's a lot going on for them in this card. The next card on the feminine side, she has Challenging Times. This is another 5, so you have that transformation, the change, but I feel like, the feminine is going to be shielding herself. She's going to be blocking her heart, because she's going to be afraid of, that ego is going to be settling in a little bit, and there's going to be a back and forth of, do I do this anymore? What do I do? What do I do with this? And it's going to be a period of growth, and that can be challenging, and she's going to have to evaluate, where am I going with this? And I think that most of the Divine Feminine are going to choose to hold space for the masculine. with that attempt at, you know, letting them be and moving forward with their own lives. They have the Eight of Water as a clarifier. So the Eight of Water is that desire to move on. They want more than what they're getting. They want, you know, they know that their needs are not being fulfilled, but they also understand that this isn't a typical 3D relationship. There's just so much more going on, and that they can't even totally wrap their heads around it. So there's just a lot going on for the feminine, very mixed emotions happening for the feminine. The next card for the masculine is Master, and this card is a 6. And what I thought was interesting is, so this is a 6, and Challenging Times is a 5. So you got the 6 and the 5 again, and then that's an 11. You know, but what's interesting too is that the masculine has a wall up around his heart too. His heart is also caged. He's mirroring her. You know, he has the same concerns. He has the same fears. You know, he's keeping his heart locked behind a cage because he doesn't want to be hurt. And the clarifying card that I pulled here is the Four of Fire. And, you know, this card is all about a happy home life and peace and contentment, and abundance. And the masculine does not think that he deserves that with the feminine. He's fearful. There's a lot of fear. Both of them, both of these cards, Challenging Times and Master, like, they're scared and they need to let go of that fear. They need to move on from that fear. So, the crowning energy that they're both moving into. And so I think you guys can see as I'm going through this, like, why I feel like this is not, you know, like, this might be for some like happening in a week, but I feel like this is like a longer term thing. Is balance. So despite everything, the masculine and feminine are coming together into balance, into balanced energy. You know, and that's where you want to be. You want to be in, you know, the same vibration. You know, and this card is a 5 again. You know, transformation, freedom. And I feel like with this, it's like freedom from the fear. You've moved past the fear to be able to merge together. And I pulled Lenormands here. And before I get into what the Lenormands are, so we have a 25, a 35, and an 18. And just because like I was seeing so many of the same numbers, just for the heck of it, I added all of these numbers up. I got a 6. So you have another 6 and a 5. And so the number for the crowning energy is an 11. Yeah. So you have the ring and the anchor. And so the way the Lenormands work, each card combination has a different meaning, and so they kind of like build on each other. And that what's really cool is that so you have the anchor and then you have the dog. And so basically the ring and the anchor is having a long-term stable commitment relationship. You have common goals, and the anchor and the dog is like a lifelong loyal friendship or relationship. And I just feel like that was just like kind of beautiful, that, you know, as they come into this balance, you know, for a lot of twins that are able to overcome and take advantage of these energies and these things that the Leo twin is going to talk to you about if you go watch this video. I really think that it's going to be really beneficial, and, you know, you're going to be able to come together, you know, with this long-term, loyal relationship. So the grounding energy for this reading is nurture. And for this, I'm really feeling like you both are nurturing your own individuality and your own spirituality and what works for you. Each of these cards is really focusing on yourselves and what you need to move forward. And I felt that very, very much. And this card confirms that this is the underlying energy for the feminine, which is seek. And I really feel like that's going to be, you know, the feminine energy is going to be working on going within to figure out, you know, what do I need? What's best for me to continue forward, and go, that, you know, and again, that seeking, that going within and listening to your own intuition. And then the underlying energy for the masculine is teach. And there's that, you know, when you have, you can't teach without learning, you can't learn without teaching. So he's got this underlying energy where I really think he's going to be learning a lot. He's going to be going through a lot. But I don't think he's going to realize what's happening. But he's going to be teaching the feminine some lessons. Like, she's going to be learning a lot from what happens during this time period. She's going to learn a lot from the masculine. Or at least it's going to be an opportunity for learning. And I don't always get the inkling to look at the bottom of the deck after I've shuffled, but I did today. And the bottom was flow. And so I really feel like you need to be just taking one day at a time and go with the flow. Try not to fight the current because you're going to be exhausted. It's not going to work for you. You know, and a 10 breaks down to a 1 for new beginnings. And, you know, I feel like the accumulation of this, or the culmination of this reading is really about, you know, breaking through the fear and the barriers and coming out on the other side for new beginnings. And you will get there. And not everyone's going to be taking the same path, but you're going to get there. And so I pulled an oracle card. It came up in the protection message, so I might, if I feel like it, I might read you both. It's usually a judgment call right at the second, but it's come to the edge. And so the relationship message is this. It's scary to be truly intimate with someone, to allow him or her to see all of you, especially the parts that you've kept hidden and protected. Now is the time to take that risk and let yourself be seen, truly seen. It's important that you speak up, voice what you need, state who you are, say what you hope for. This is not the time to play it safe, but to take a leap of faith. You will be glad you did. If you're seeking a relationship, the same applies. Take one step toward the gods, and they will deliver what you truly desire. Okay, and then I'm gonna read you the protection message as well. And just so you get the essential meanings of this card, it's courage, taking a leap of faith, overcoming fear, and accepting risk. So the protection message is, fear is leading the way into places you don't need to go. Most of what you fear at the moment is an illusion stemming from an old belief that isn't even true. Now is a time for courage. You will not be lost at sea. You will not watch everyone else get what you want while you are left alone and unloved. Oh, the drama of it all. False evidence, appearing real, is hovering over you. The more you dwell on fear, the more real it will become. Ask yourself, who in me is afraid? Love that part of you. Ask, is this true and real right now? The answer most likely is no. Give yourself a hug. It's okay to be scared. Courage must be summoned. In spite of your fear, even when you're not feeling confident, Spirit will always catch you. So I feel like in this case, especially having this win or lose card in the very beginning, I feel like both the relationship message and protection message were relevant for this reading. So that's all I've got for you this week. I hope that you enjoyed this message and that it was helpful for you. Again, if you think that you resonated with this reading, or if you felt like I was talking directly to you, then I am the reader for you, and you can contact me to set up an individual reading. My website is indigowingshealing.com. You can email me at indigowingshealing@gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook, facebook.com/indigowingshealing. I also have a Facebook group, which is Indigo Wings Soul Connections. If you guys have any questions or anything, ask me below in the comments. I will do my best to reply to them. Sometimes I'm not always able to get back to everybody, but I do try my best. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe so you are notified as soon as I upload my latest videos, because I don't always get them up to social media right away. So with that, I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. I'm pretty sure that we have a new moon coming up this week, and I heard it's supposed to be a super full moon, but I don't know what we have going on with it. I was too busy checking out the Leo King. So don't forget to check out the video that I mentioned. I will try to link to it below. And so other than that, have a great week, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.